Hey guys, Dr. Snellgrove here, just recording a quick video for the body paragraphs of Essay 2 on our integrated reading and writing class. And I think I gave you the song and dance about this when we were talking about intros, but the good news when it comes to writing the body paragraphs for Essay 2 is that the body paragraph formula that we talked about back in Essay 1 hasn't changed. We're not suddenly going to throw you like a brand new way of writing your body paragraphs or anything quite so dramatic. Instead, it's more like, okay, here's the formula. Let's, review the formula and then discuss how it is applied to this new essay, which I'm hoping will lead to I'm not racing the clock, but a short video. All right. So just the basics of what goes into a body paragraph, as you'll hopefully recall, you've got a topic sentence. This is the first sentence. It tells us basically what you're arguing about in the paragraph. It needs to be some sort of supporting argument that backs up your main thesis. Don't worry, we'll circle back to this. You then need to have at least three, supporting sentences, that basically back up the mini argument that you introduced in the topic sentence. And then you need to have a concluding / transition sentence, which wraps up what you've been talking about and helps build a bridge to the next thing that you're talking about. Okay, so what does that mean in context with Essay 2? All right, so again, I know you're probably sick of these reminders, but I still have folks that are kind of dropping the ball on this. So this essay, the one and only thing that this essay is about, you've picked a myth. It can be like Bigfoot, aliens, whatever. You picked a myth, as in something that we don't have scientific evidence of, something we can't experience for ourselves. And you need to argue why you think so many people believe in this myth despite the lack of evidence, right? So it's like there's not a Bigfoot body that we can go, dig up, analyze, or anything like that. So, why do people believe in the Bigfoot myth? So before, you're not limited to this, but one of the things I emphasized before is if you want to get into the idea of media influence, like people believe in Bigfoot because of movies, because of TV shows, because of the internet, like YouTube and TikTok videos, something like that. So, anyways, let's say that is my thesis, something along the lines of many people believe in the myth of Bigfoot due to multimedia influence, right? So let's say that's my thesis. What am I then doing in my topic sentences? Well, each topic sentence needs to be talking about a different reason that people believe in this myth. And you don't have to necessarily write them out the way I just did, but I kind of gave the game away. This is the importance of a good outline. Not that you're stuck with your outlines, but the importance of a good outline where it's like, okay, I know kind of what my basic arguments are. Where it's like, all right, first thing, it's like I'm going to say a topic sentence for body paragraph 1. Many people believe in the myth of Bigfoot due to the number of Bigfoot appearances and references in movies. All right, that's my topic sentence. So it lets the reader know that this paragraph is going to be all about Bigfoot movies and how they make people believe Bigfoot's real. So what am I going to do in my my supporting sentences for the topic sentence? Well, there I might mention some of the movies I'm talking about, but more importantly, I'm going to get into how and why is it that people see or hear Bigfoot related stuff in movies so often. How does this lead them to think Bigfoot is real? Is it just maybe it's trouble separating fiction from reality? Maybe it's just like hearing a lie over and over. It's like, well, once you get to your 10th movie acting like Bigfoot's real, maybe you start thinking maybe he is real. But so I have that topic sentence, people believe in Bigfoot due to, the influence of movies. And then my paragraph's all about what are the movies, how and why. It's not all of them, just some of them. And then like how and why do they make people believe in Bigfoot? All right. So then I have to get to my conclusion / transition sentence. So again, I know it's easier said than done, but we're wrapping up the old argument and then hope you're not stuck with what you submitted on your outline, but I hope you have an outline or at least an idea of what you're going to do, because then you, in addition to wrapping up your current argument, you can have a transition into what your next argument is going to be. So this is pretty straightforward for me. I gave you the example in my little, would-be thesis earlier that, people believe in Bigfoot due to movies, TV shows, and the internet, right? So if I'm wrapping up my people believe in Bigfoot because of the movies, and I know I'm going to be talking the next section about Bigfoot on television, then I might have a final sentence, a concluding sentence that is something like, all of you know all of these movies over the decades have helped countless people believe that Bigfoot is real. And even if they didn't see the movies, many people have become captivated by Bigfoot television shows. I'm not saying that's the greatest, conclusion transition in the world, but I'm mentioning TV shows because the next section is going to be TV shows. And sure enough, once I get to that paragraph, I'm saying, another reason that many people believe that Bigfoot is real is due to the number of Bigfoot appearances and references in television shows. And then I start the whole process over again. I'm going to name some of the shows. I'm going to get into how and why watching those things, see, and just even knowing they exist makes people believe the myth is real. So just backing up a little bit, again, y'all get to choose your own myth. It's nothing that I've assigned to you. You get to argue. That's the whole point. You need to come up with a thesis on why do people believe in this myth despite the lack of evidence. And then the paper is where you unpack that. Because again, if it might feel a little weird with this particular topic, but something I chatted about a lot with my face-to-face students is, when you're writing, technically you never prove an argument. Have you ever thought about this? You're meant to be writing for a group like fellow college freshmen. And the idea is some of them are going to instantly believe you, but you don't got to write for them because they already believe you. Some of them will never believe you, and you don't got to write for them because they will never believe you. Instead, you're stuck with a certain number of people that are on the fence in the middle, and you're trying to lay out as much persuasive arguments as you can to get them to believe. So imagine if I, addressed a room, I said, people only think Bigfoot's real because of the media. And there's probably at least one person, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's the only reason. So now my whole paper, I'm laying out all this evidence. Let's look at the movies. Let's look at the TV shows. Let's look at the YouTube videos. Let's look at the TikTok videos, all of these things. And all I'm really trying to do is win over as many of the people, still reading it as I can. Right. And I don't think I've talked about it a whole lot with this class as much, but it's good to remember what I cheerfully call the world's saddest infographic, where you've got, up here is the thing you're arguing. Down here is literally anything and everything else you can bring up. Personal stories, random personal anecdotes, it's info about the myth, whatever. You need to constantly find a way to connect what you are talking about back to the argument. All right. So if the argument is, media makes people believe in Bigfoot, then it's not enough for me to just say, there's a lot of Bigfoot TV shows. I mean, there are actually historically, but I need to go that extra level. This shows, my little arrows. When I draw the world's saddest infographic, the arrows are where I, as a writer, am doing things like, this shows that, this proves that, this helps us see why. And so I'm constantly taking my reader by the hand and explaining the significance of the different things that I bring in. And it's a real win-win for me as a writer, because doing that, constantly explaining this shows that, this helps us see why, it makes my actual paper stronger, because I'm substantiating my arguments, I'm walking my reader through what they need to know. And of course, if any of you are worried about hitting the page count, adding that kind of stuff makes the essay longer as well. Again, a real win-win for the writer. But y'all know the deal. If you have any questions about any of this, it could be about the essays, the stuff we're reading, the book, the class, anything, everything, feel free to email me. Feel free to text me at 863-835-2399. Y'all have a good one. Bye.